This is Smithy.tv.
So hello, welcome to Smithy TV. This is the Mind Reels. Once again with Tim on my left. As always, Sue. Oh, thank you, Sue. How's things? Things are good?
Are you really going to ask me that
I
today?
am. I'm going to ask
work
that
at the
today
same place.
Tomorrow's going to be awesome. And we're not going
Tomorrow
to talk about it because we'll jinx it. But
Today's awesome now.
Yes, because we're
not
in the
so
studio
much about
again.
an hour ago.
Yeah, but we're in the studio. This time, I brought back a friend who I got to interview, but you didn't because the whole boat thing. It wasn't probably bad for you.
Yeah, I wasn't okay that day.
Yeah. So Sandra DaCosta,
apartment.
welcome back
Thank you very much.
into the studio.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I know, right?
It's been cute.
Except the first time we did an interview, that was awesome too.
It was, because
We
how
were
often?
on a boat.
Yeah, we were on a boat.
Yeah, exactly.
It was nice. It was sunny. It's like that was like a great freaking day.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I wrote up a huge thing about it. Mike apparently loved it and friended me like within seconds.
He did. He was pretty smitten with your article.
Yeah, which
He's
is great.
very easy to please.
Yes. And that will be our other guest. Sandra, you have brought the director of your latest film.
Yes,
Ryan
Ryan
Andrews. So welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Now, hopefully Sandra did not warn you, because we always like to start this way. And Sandra, are you staying on the record with your favorite film of all time? Which she doesn't even remember what it was now.
No, I do.
All right.
I do.
It was Jaws,
It's
which I think was
Jaws.
just actually to get on my good side, because my favorite movie.
No.
You
No,
know,
still my favorite.
Still, all right.
Still my favorite.
They're like, no, I'm not sticking with that. Absolutely not.
Game changer. Let me switch it up.
Finding Nemo.
All-time favorite movie.
All-time favorite movie is The Shining.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Though, admittedly, I saw a film this year which, not now, but maybe in 10 years from now, I can look back and say,
Really?
could trump that, and that's Rob Zombie's The Lords of Salem.
Okay, because I've heard mixed things, and I do
Yeah.
want to
That's
see
the
it.
thing.
Just
You're
'cause,
the-
yeah.
Well, same thing with The Shining, because people who read the book hated the movie. Spielberg hated the movie when he saw it.
Sue hated the movie.
And exactly.
I didn't hate the
Lots of
movie, but
people
I
hated
didn't
it.
think it, yeah, I think it's
So
funny.
just like The Shining,
It's a
The
comedy.
Lords of Salem, when it comes out next year, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it.
Really? Okay, because I was impartial to Thousand Corpses. I wasn't a big fan. And then after all those years of saying, I'm never going to do a remake or anything, he did two of them back to back, like Halloween 1 and 2, which I don't get.
Well, the thing I liked about Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2 is if he was just going to duplicate what John Carpenter did, then I can just throw John Carpenter's Halloween on.
That's true.
And, you know, I don't like watching a remake if it's just going to be a ripoff of the original.
Okay.
If
Yep.
a filmmaker takes a story
Psycho.
and exactly
Shot
Psycho
for
probably
shot.
being the most obvious shot for shot.
Yeah.
But if a filmmaker takes a story, a classic story that we know and love, and does a new rendition to it, then I'll at least appreciate it. And
Okay.
so that's what I liked about Rob Zombie's Halloween. Again, a lot of people hate it, but it's that thing of, well, if I wanted to watch John Carpenter's Halloween, I'd
Yeah.
watch John Carpenter's
Yeah.
Halloween.
Okay.
If I want to see a bunch of crazy redneck hillbillies doing their thing and Michael Myers shows up, then I'll watch Rob Zombie.
Right, you know what? With that thought,
That's how
I'm
I
going to
felt
rewatch
about
it.
the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, because
I hated that.
I didn't like it, but I liked
Yeah.
the fact that they tried to go a different way with it and to put a different
Yeah.
spin on it. And I actually doubted whether or not Krueger was guilty for a little bit there. I was like,
like
oh
the
my
fact-
god, those kids got that guy killed.
I like the fact that they made Freddy more serious the way
That I
he was in the
liked, yeah.
original.
Yeah.
Because with each increasingly horrible sequel, Freddy became equally
Yeah, it was-
comical.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
He
by
was
the
a
time when
caricature
Freddy's
of
dead,
himself.
you had the power glove and you had all these
Yeah,
silly things,
yeah.
and it was like, you know.
But he's a child killer.
He's like the ultimate evil. He's a pedophile. He's a child killer, and we're loving all his little catchphrases and lines, and it's like he's the most lovable child killer there is.
Ever.
Like,
Ever.
like,
Except
I
for
like
maybe the
fact
Pope. I
that
don't
in
know.
the remake they made him evil again. I didn't
Yeah.
like the remake.
No.
Yeah, I know,
as a whole,
exactly. I didn't
Yeah.
but
like
I
it
like
either.
the fact that artistically they chose to
Yeah,
make
see,
him.
I did like that.
You know,
Yeah.
a more serious
Yeah, which they need to do.
child murderer.
I
Yeah.
would love that. And you are, of course, speaking from a position of knowledge because you write and direct horror movies.
Yes.
You've done 3 features and 2 shorts.
4.
4.
Yes.
All right, all right.
And like
I'm a little behind.
15 shorts.
Okay, well, I won't lie. I checked your IMDb page. That's what I did.
Yeah, but everything's on there.
And you've worked now with Sandra at least twice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Twice.
Twice, and we have a couple other films coming up in the future that we are
Nice.
going to be working together on.
I see. Someone has a muse, apparently.
Oh, there you
Oh.
go. Any actor I use more than twice, they get Muse status.
Do it. Do it. That's awesome. Now, you guys, the first one was the diner one. The
Devil Walks Among Us.
That's it, which also had Robert Nolan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who?
So I guess he's a Muse as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're just-
But see, I like when a director does that though, when he reuses like a stock.
Yeah,
you know,
like
stock
when you have Joe
actors.
Pesci or Robert De Niro working
Yeah.
with Martin Scorsese over and over again.
You know what you get.
You find, you know, like it's the same thing as a director that works with the same cinematographer or the same
Yes.
editor. You know, like Thelma Schumacher did a bunch of Spielberg
Yeah.
films, or actually, sorry, Scorsese's films. Vera Miles edited Jaws.
Yes.
But
Yes, she did.
the idea, yeah, you just go along with it. The idea is, you know, when you find a crew that you work well with, you're going to want to work with them
Oh, exactly.
again.
Yeah.
And same thing for actors, same thing for anybody. You
Nice.
find a distribution company that you like, you
Just
want to
do it.
go to them first.
Yeah. Now your new one is Sick, and I guess the subtitle still stands as Survive the Night.
The tagline is Survive the
yeah.
Night.
So, can you give us a little rundown on it?
All right.
Without spoilers, of course, without spoilers.
No, I wouldn't do that. Sick.
Everybody dies.
They're all dead.
And then not.
It's all fancy.
What more do you want? Yeah.
Basically, for Sick, it's 2 years into the zombie apocalypse, and you're following people who are still alive, struggling day to day. I mean, you know, the reality is it'd be very depressing to be living through the zombie apocalypse. I mean, it's like, yay, I live to go through this. Can I swear?
Everything sucks.
Absolutely.
Right. Go through this shit for another day.
Oh yeah.
All right, this is fun. So you have different people with different levels, like at different stages in their acceptance of things, and the film focuses on 3 people who have to survive the night because the zombies are more active at nighttime.
Okay. I'm up for that. I will be there, and I do plan on being there. I mean, buy my tickets tonight when I get home. Because, yeah, and Sandra, you are, I want to say Betsy. Is it Betsy?
Betsy.
See,
Yeah,
I
you got
pay
that
attention.
right. Somebody did their
I pay
homework.
attention. I don't want to know if you die.
Well, I wouldn't tell you anyways.
Good.
You have to find out on Friday.
Everybody dies someday, Tim.
Stop it. No. But can you talk a little bit about behind the scenes, making the film, favorite moments, something that didn't end up in the film that you wished ended up in the film?
We only shot for 15 days. Everything.
I love that.
Everything was in the
I love that
film,
kind of
from my
filmmaking. I
knowledge.
love that.
Yeah. Well, we shot, my scenes were shot in Pontypool.
Sweet.
Right? Yeah, Pontypool, yeah. It was November
Yeah.
when we were shooting.
November.
Zombies like
Wow.
Pontypool, I hear.
November when we were shooting,
Yeah.
but we had an amazing location. We had this huge farm with like acres and acres of land to our disposal. We had some crazy stuff happen on the last day of shooting. Like the owner came on the property and
That was
didn't
the
pretend.
neighbor.
Yeah, the neighbor. The neighbor.
What are you
pretended-
kids doing
exactly.
here?
No.
And we all had our weapons in hand to shoot this scene. And he came on and he said, "What are you doing here? I don't know why you're here. I have no knowledge of it." And he even threatened to go and get his own gun, which was real. So,
Did
you
yours
know.
have an orange plug in there?
But he's say we had like cats coming
Guns
on
were real. We just had
set.
fake bullets.
Yeah, we had fake bullets, but it's no match to his shotgun that I'm sure he was going to get if we didn't do something about it.
Yeah.
We had cats coming on to set and like breaking continuity. We had a horse come on. It's like, Jesus, somebody get control of these
Everybody
animals
wants to be a
here.
star.
We
Of course,
we
man.
didn't have an animal wrangler. Like we didn't know that these things were going to happen.
On a farm.
No, I know. Go figure. But no, it was.
Damn your nature.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we worked with a lot of great people. It was my first time working with Christina Cito, who is the lead. She plays Dr. Leigh Rosetta. My first time working with her. She's a fantastic actress, and she braved the weather and had her feet and like up to her knees in like cold water coming out of like this big drainage pipe, like. Just amazing. She's an amazing actress who like gives it her all. And then there's Robert Nolan, who's fantastic, who I've worked with before.
Yeah.
We've got Richard Roy Sutton, and he's a fantastic actor, and I would love the opportunity to work with him again for sure.
You hear that, Richard?
Yeah, Richard.
Fix that now. But yeah, and I love the fact though that you're like the writer, the director, anything you can do on set, you are the guy. I love
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I'm just an artist. I'm a storyteller, and
Yeah.
the medium for telling stories is his film. This story actually, the idea for it came from my editor from my previous film, a guy I work with a lot, and we've actually written a lot of different stories together. And he basically pitched me this idea for a short, which actually follows after Devil Walks Among You.
Oh, wow.
Because what we wanted to do with that, and what we still have intentions of doing at some point, but making features, have no time for anything else, is we wanted to turn The Devil Walks Among You into a webisode.
Yeah, that could
Kind of like
totally
Tales
work.
from the Crypt kind of thing. Like each episode is this 10-minute story narrated by this sultry woman sitting in this seedy, smoky blues bar, telling these stories of like the macabre, and basically, Sick was going to be the next story about these three people trapped in this house.
Nice.
And so when I sat down with Chris Cull, who's co-writer on this, he told me the idea, and I went, all right. So started, doing like this beat sheet to basically just put down all our ideas. And, I was like on page 43 saying, this is not...
so much longer than 10 minutes,
film, this is a feature, and this deserves to be a feature.
Oh, man,
so
that's awesome.
we need to, step it up and turn this into a feature script. And so we did it. And then we shot it, and now we're screening it.
That's awesome. But I love that idea of a web series like that, because, we were talking about, I think, at least our past guests, like, Katie's done a web series now. Our guests previous last week were also just did a web series. That seems to be like the way to go right now.
Porn stars.
There's an audience
porn stars,
for it.
yeah. It's really growing.
Yeah.
People use their computers a lot. It's easy to just jump on and watch something that's 10 minutes long. It doesn't take a lot of time. You can just go on, you can watch, and you can move on.
Yeah.
There's a bit more of a commitment to sit down and watch like a 3-hour epic film.
I can do that.
Well, we can, but when you get like an 18-year-old kid,
of course,
attention span,
like a gnat.
It's not going to work.
But I just want to revisit that whole, that little Tales of the Crypt kind of idea. That's a wicked idea.
Like each episode would be like this different story, completely separate, other than the host. That tells the story.
I could write a story for that.
It's already happening.
Right then.
Brain's already. Creepy things are happening. That's awesome. Now, I don't want to sound mean, but with all the zombie movies that are out there, what makes yours like so unique or different? What makes yours different?
Well, I've got two different answers. The first answer
Give
is
them
you
both.
have to come and see it.
And the other one is meaner.
The reality is, before Chris pitched this film to me, the story to me, I didn't want to do a zombie film. I wanted to stay away from zombie films because zombies always tended to be the go-to story of an independent filmmaker if they're going to do horror. And so it always tends to be like you've got zombie strippers, zombies versus werewolves, zombies this, zombies that. And other than that, you have your $100 million 3D shoot 'em up zombie film.
Sure.
And there's just way too many of them.
Yeah.
So what actually attracted me to this story was the fact that, like the classic zombie stories told by George Romero, it focuses on the characters. It's more of a character-driven piece. It's more of a drama.
Yeah.
Going back to, like The Shining being my favorite story, it's a dramatic horror film. Same with The Exorcist, same with The Omen. These are stories that, we're not trying to have a lot of blood and guts. In The Shining, you got an elevator pouring blood, but it's not gory.
No.
And that's the thing. Sick is not a gory zombie film because couldn't afford that. Other than that, I didn't want it to be like this blood-soaked, gory zombie film because I didn't want to compete against those kinds of films, and I didn't want it to be lumped in with those.
Nice.
I wanted to do like, you know what? You want to see a good horror film? Like people still to this day talk more about The Exorcist and The Shining than they do about whatever crap came out in the past couple of years. So for me, basically, I just really wanted to do a story that would be a great character-driven piece. If you don't care about the characters, you're not going to care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And unless you're just watching Jason Voorhees slash people up for fun, or you're watching Evil Dead for the comedic.
Yeah.
And everybody loves that, and you need that from time to time.
Totally.
But the best horror films are the ones that are more dramas.
Totally. And can get under your skin.
That's
Those are the ones that stay with you past the.
So kind of like Romero's Holy Trinity, Night, Dawn, and Day, this kind of follows suit with that.
Okay.
But what also separates it is we've created our own zombies for this film. Like when Romero made Night of the Living Dead, prior to that, most zombie films were more voodoo slave zombies. And so he created this more, he took it from this book, but he created this more, return from the grave, cannibalistic.
Decomposing,
and it frightened people. And, when 28 Days Later came out, the idea behind that is, oh my God, they can run. And it was something different. And, you bring that up to a lot of zombie fans, they'll say, it's not a zombie movie. And, screw you. It's, it's a kind of zombie film. Yeah. It's like slapstick comedy is a kind of comedy, right? And so I wanted to not copy what other stories have done with their zombies. Wanted to create my own kind of zombie.
Nice.
And that's what we did. Our zombies eat brains, which, even though eating brains is like pop culture, said on The Simpsons and everywhere.
It's said all the time, but nobody actually really eats
It's
their
only
brains.
been done in Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
Return of the Living Dead is the only movie that has zombies eating brains. But it's still pop culture.
Yeah.
Zombies eat brains. So thanks to our executive producer, Cengiz Femi, who's a smarter guy than I am, he was able to offer a lot of scientific information where if zombies were real, and they're not, but
Spoiler.
if they were real, zombies would eat brains. And we have a scientifically proven reason why zombies eat brains.
Okay.
And that is in the film. As a kind of secondary story going along with the main horror of the story. And so, we break it down, and it's all based in reality. It's stuff you can look up. I mean, it's
nice.
Like if I gave you all my research and you can see it and go, oh, okay, yeah, this is all real stuff. It's not like we just made it up. And we took all this real scientific information and kind of went, well, if we had zombies, they would do it because of this and that, and here you go. And kind of one thing I'm really happy with the film is all this information is fed to the audience through a character played by Scream Queen Debbie Rochon. And I grew up watching Debbie in films back in the 90s, and she's done over 200 horror films. She's horror royalty. And we were able to get her in the film.
Wow.
And she plays a different kind of character than what people are used to seeing her play, and she's playing this doctor who is basically, educating the audience as to why zombies eat brains and how this works and how that works.
That's awesome.
And there's a lot of different elements like that within this film. I mean, we still have gunplay. We still have, decapitations. We still have, all the stuff that you have to have in a zombie.
Soul. Yeah.
We cut the cat out. I'm allergic to cats, man. I would never put a cat in my
Unless someone was killing it. Its ass.
That sounds
You gotta shoot
awesome.
it first. Then we'll kill it.
And you guys had an industry screening there. It was like the 15th or a little early?
1st.
Yeah, November 1st.
Yeah,
okay.
start of the month we've had an industry screening, and the world premiere of the movie is
30th.
like 2 days on November 30th at the projection booth
It's gonna
in
be
Toronto.
awesome.
Tickets are still available, but they are limited right now, so get them while you can. It's part of a new festival
Which
celebrating
you
Canadian
have started.
films. I did not start it.
Okay.
It was started
I'll
by...
give you credit. You started it.
Yeah, I started it.
It's my
I sat there and
festival.
looked around. We need a festival. No, the festival was created by Kelly Michael Stewart. He's a writer for Fangoria magazine.
Very cool.
Being, the biggest horror movie magazine ever. And so he's a writer for that. He writes a few other companies.
Nice.
And, since he's been writing, he lives in Toronto, he's had his finger on the pulse of the horror scene going on here. And there is a huge underground horror scene going on here. Chad Archibald, Gabriel Carr, Justin McConnell, myself.
Wow.
There's a lot of us making horror films.
Wow.
And we're not doing the conventional way of how films were made 30 years ago. These types of films, the government doesn't want to put money into anyways, right? But we're also not taking no for an answer, and we're still making these films.
That's awesome.
And these films are getting out there. You can go into HMV and pick up Justin's movie, The Collapse. You can pick up Never Lost by Chad Archibald. And so it's that idea that we are here, and we are making all these movies. And unfortunately, Canada doesn't like to celebrate its own talent
At all.
And a lot of film festivals, they tend to reach to other countries and play their movies here, and kind of ignore the homegrown talent. If you're going to support your local farmers and buy local produce, why not support your local filmmakers?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. This festival that Kelly created is to support the local filmmakers. Gabriel Carr has a film in the festival as well called In the House of Flies. It has Henry Rollins in it.
Really? Wow.
There's a movie also
wicked.
screening on the Saturday called Devil's Night. Has Danielle Harris, who
That
been
rings a
around
bell
in
somewhere.
horror.
Yeah.
She's a little girl in Halloween 4.
She was in.
She was in
Rob
Roseanne.
Zombie. She was in Roseanne. That's not a horror though, so we don't care.
Well,
No.
kind of.
But anyway, Sick opens the festival on November 30th at 7 p.m. And
No nerves there at all. Like not.
No.
Really? Opening the festival, that would freak the shit out of me.
Well, this is actually the first time I'm really doing a film screening in Canada. My films play in the U.S.
Wait though.
play in Europe.
It's first time in Canada, opening the festival, and you're not freaking out.
I'm just happy I don't have to travel.
He doesn't know to be freaked out yet.
And we're Canadian.
Every year I drive for 20 hours to go to Oklahoma for this one festival, and it's like cool. I can just take a taxi.
and I'm there.
I'm there. I can sleep in my own bed. I don't have to fly to LA or something. So it's kind of nice. I'm looking forward to that. And the festival also closes with an art house horror film called Blood for Irina, directed by Chris Alexander, who's the editor-in-chief of Fangoria.
Wow.
And so, it's a really good festival with a lot of great films. And it's just kind of to show everybody, it's like, you know what? You don't need to look to other countries to find good horror. We have it here. And, at least somebody, like Fangoria really supports the local horror scene a lot. Cool. So I'm really happy to have their support behind us, because not everyone does support.
Yeah. That's awesome. Oh man, I might have to see more than one of these shows this weekend then.
Well, you can buy for $50 a weekend pass to go to all of them.
Yep. That's I could be very well tempted on something like that. I don't know what else I've got on this week, and you've got to work. I could definitely see a couple of them for sure. I might have to do that. Yeah.
Well, The Devil Walks Among You also screens in the afternoon, because as well as all these features, Saturday afternoon, I guess it's the class of, 2012. Kelly and Michael Stewart spent the year screening all these different films once a month at a thing he called Fright Nights. And so
Kirk does that.
Yeah, so he's put a bunch of them together, and so he's screening a bunch of shorts that he already screened this year. Devil Walks Among You is one of them. There's one called Familiar, directed by Richard Powell, which also has Robert Nolan in it. Pretty much, if you have a Canadian film, if you have a movie made in Toronto,
Robert's going to show up somewhere.
Is somewhere in it.
Well, because they had one at After Dark.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I can't even remember the name of that one now. Where it's just him and the camera and a little creepy hand at the end of it. But where he's supposed to be. Was he a priest? Yeah, he was a priest, and he was supposed to be possessed, and he's got a chair he's strapped into.
He was trying to exercise himself on video.
It's really, I'm watching it going, it's really good, but I've met you, Robert, and you're not like that in real life.
See, I don't know what he's like in real life, because he's a really weird guy, and it's like I would be kind of scared to see him do a real method performance as a psychotic serial killer.
Yeah. I'm not saying he couldn't do it, because I think he could.
Well, I think he can, but at the same time, I don't know if he can bend the line between fantasy and
Well, because when we were out on the boat that day, I was up chatting with him at one point, and he just keeps leaning over and goes, did I ever tell you the time when I fell in love with a mermaid? And like every 2 minutes he's turning around, he's got another mermaid story. I'm like, where are these coming from?
Is this because we're on the water?
I don't understand.
You never told any mermaid stories when we were up in Bonnie.
Yeah, it was all about, there was this one time with a zombie, and yeah. But that's awesome. And you, my dear, are so busy. You finished up Pete winning.
Yeah.
You got sick.
Yep.
What else you got on the go? We've got tons of stuff.
I'm like, you got sick? What?
I'm working on an action adventure.
That's right.
project
I was
right
supposed to
now.
get out there for one of the shoots, but I didn't get there.
No, that's okay.
I suck.
We shot. No, you don't.
No, I
Not at
don't.
all.
No,
No,
it's
I'm
terrible.
glad you tried. You made an effort, so I understand.
I wanted to be. They had an evil henchman.
Oh, that's right.
I could have gone out and
Yeah.
been an evil henchman.
We actually shot
This
this
space.
past weekend. We shot on a battleship in Hamilton.
No.
That was the battleship scene. It was awesome. Yeah, this whole battleship to yourself. Like seriously, the only thing is we're shooting at night, and it's a tin can. It's freezing in there, and we had 24 hours to get everything done. So we were there for that amount of time.
Great acoustics too, I imagine.
Actually, you know what? No, because some of us went exploring, and it was funny because they were trying to find us, and they were shouting our names, and nobody could get a hold. They were like, "You didn't hear me yelling for you for 20 minutes?" I'm like, "Absolutely not."
Just start banging Morse code on the pipes or something.
Thing is, I have no idea how to.
Yeah, no, me neither. They'd be like, OSO, what are they?
What does that mean?
How do I get
so.
out of this thing?
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was a good time. And you know what? Actually, are we allowed to talk about the trailer? We have a special screening tomorrow.
No.
Or Friday. No, we're not allowed? Really? Okay.
What are you talking about Saturday?
Well, there's no. This might not even
This
get
might
up
not
till
even air in
next
time.
week. So yeah. So it all depends.
Now it's a
So did you
gamble.
like the film when you saw it?
I can't wait to see it. To be honest with you, the more I've heard and talked about it tonight,
And what do you think of that trailer?
it was.
Yeah.
Did you see it? No.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't wait to see Sick just because from what I've heard and the fact that I know Sandra, so I can't wait to see her on the big screen doing her thing, and then all of that. It's just like it's just. And did you know? You don't know because I didn't tell you this that Sandra and I both came from Kingston, and she used to rent at one of the video stores I worked at.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
While you worked there?
No.
Oh.
She would go to the Kingston Center one, and I was up at the Garnerstown Center. But
Yeah, Jumbo Video.
thanks for bringing that up. But I did that,
You
so
did.
yeah. But yeah, just
Yeah.
weird, right? So it's weird how we had to get to Toronto to actually meet up.
Finally
Just-
crossed
yeah,
paths.
weird.
Small world.
And not at a video store.
And
Yeah,
another
no.
video store on a big boat, which was awesome. And we're actually planning to get Mike in here at some point as well. Talking
Okay,
about Pete.
good.
Yeah, so it's
Awesome. I think Mike is almost done
growing that mustache.
editing. I haven't seen the mustache. You apparently have.
Just saying. Some of us can pull it off.
Yeah.
But some of us can't. Some of us
Aww.
poor
He's
Lindsay.
just a creepy kid. I didn't realize that was for November.
And Ryan, what have you got else on the go? I mean, you've got to have like things percolating all the time because
Oh, yeah.
Sue writes, I write, so I know there's ideas popping up there.
Well, those are more than just ideas. I mean, like I've got a million ideas, but I've got like probably 6 different features that are all
man.
in like the ready to go stage where at least one of them will be going to camera next year. I'm hoping 2, but it's kind of up in the air because it's called development hell for a reason. You never know exactly when you'll crawl out of there, but when you do and you get on set, you treasure every moment of it.
Hell yeah.
Actually, one of the films we can talk about,
Ooh.
one of the films that is one of these 6 films that I'm currently pushing through development hell, is a film called Save Yourself, which is
Okay.
kind of a grindhouse horror film. And it plays on the 4 stereotypes of women in horror. You have your girl next door character, you have your bitch character, you have your slut character, you have your brainiac character.
I know 3 of those. You pick.
You know 3 personally, or?
Yes.
All right.
All right here. No?
So basically, the story follows these 4 women who are 4 filmmakers, and they are traveling across country to go to premiere their film in LA.
Okay.
And so it's, road trip horror film, 4 girls going across country. You know they're going to take a wrong turn somewhere. You know bad things are going to happen.
As you do.
And really bad things happen. And it really plays up the Grindhouse style. And for me, Grindhouse is not just like adding scratch onto the film post. Like you shoot a film with $1,000 and go, yeah, it looks like crap, and now we paint
Make it
over
look
it
worse,
with all the scratch, and it's supposed to be this way.
Yeah.
It's like that's not what a real Grindhouse movie is. But this is like a real Grindhouse kind of horror film.
Wow.
And it's not going to be all scratchy. I mean, it's going to look decent. It's going to look good because I want it to look good.
Yeah.
And so the film basically follows Sandra and 3 other women who will be.
Sandra, who
Which one are you?
Which one do you want her to be?
Just take a poll.
Interview just took a turn. What do you want me to be?
Wait.
And so bad things happen, and it really goes crazy insane with this. I don't want to give anything away, but it's just kind of this idea that it's something that I haven't seen before, and I watch a lot of
That
horror
sounds
films,
wicked.
so that's why I'm excited about that. Sandra and I are also working on another project with a number of other people.
That we can't talk
We
about.
can't talk about until next week, unless
So I
it
got
already
nothing
is
to
next
say.
week. Come to Fright Nights, Blood in the Snow Film Festival, and
Which is
see
a
what
great
we're talking
name,
about.
by the way, for a film festival. I
Yeah.
love that name. Blood in the Snow.
Yeah,
That sounds
it's-
bad.
and-
I want
but
that
if
on a
it-
shirt, like with just blood spatters on a white shirt.
I'm sure somebody's going to make a shirt out of it. But basically, you come to that, you'll see what we're talking about with that one. And it's another project I'm really excited about because there's a lot of great talent attached to it. And then there's just all these other films where it's like, hey, I got a story. I wrote it. Now what? Now I got to try to get money so I can go make it. And with each film I make, with the 4 features I've already done, each time I make one, I don't take a step back. I don't do something I've already done. It's okay. Each film has to have a bigger budget. Each film has to push me further as a director.
Nice.
Each one, I have to take what I learned from all the other ones
And apply it to the next,
apply.
yeah.
So since Sick turned out so well, and we had a budget that we got to play with to make it so we could have gunfire, so we could have 30 zombies running around in front of this house in Toronto, and we could have all this stuff. It's just that idea that the next one has to be bigger,
be
so
bigger
it
and
takes a
tough,
little
yeah.
more time to get all the paperwork
course,
in
yeah.
order. But I'm like itching to get back on set. I just want to get a camera in my hand and start shooting stuff.
I like that sound a lot. I don't do that. I sit at home and look at that blank page on the computer screen.
Oh.
I don't know what that looks like. I always have words on mine.
Shut up.
All work and no play.
Oh
boy.
There's still words.
Yeah, no, I will sit there for the longest time and just look at that blank page because I can see like the end of the story. I can see some stuff that happens in the middle. It's just getting started. Although the one I've got, which I need to start writing, is this whole. I'm breaking the story here first. It's a big vampire western story, and it's stuff that I haven't seen in a movie before. So I'm like, okay, I want to write this huge story, and I actually know how this one starts because I've done research on Toronto when it was just York, and it had like it's not the 5 boroughs that were surrounded, but there was these 3 little townships that grew up around them, and they were called something. I have it all written in my notes, and it's just this sounds awesome. We're gonna have this happen, So I know how this one starts, but now I don't know how it ends.
It's always fun to do
I
research.
hate that.
Abraham
Yeah,
Lincoln comes.
I had so much fun researching this one.
Just make sure it's not anything like From Dusk Till Dawn.
No, it has no. As much as I love the first one, the second, no, and the third were just horrid films. Horrid. Although the first one, I think, was mainly because of Salma Hayek. I'm just saying. She was cute in that. And by cute, I mean really hot. Although it had Savini in it too, right? Yeah.
Dom Savini was in it.
Yeah.
Like Sex Machine.
Yeah.
Personally, I like
Savini.
Cheech Marin.
As the preacher, yeah, and
he
the
had 3
bartender,
roles.
yeah.
He was the bouncer at the bar.
That's
He
what it
was
was.
like the border guard.
Oh, I forgot he was the border
He was
guard.
the gangster at the end, right?
I need to watch
Spoiler.
that again.
Spoiler alert.
Just in case you haven't seen this movie from 20 years
Yeah,
ago, I just ruined it for
exactly.
you. Cheech Marin shows up.
3 times. Yeah, Robert Rodriguez has got some good films in him.
He is. He's
he's
a
got some
very
good
talented
stuff,
filmmaker. He likes to tell good stories. He cares about the stories.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he has some bad stories, too.
Oh,
I mean,
I'm not
gonna-
going to Spy Kids.
I didn't love The Faculty. I mean,
Yeah, no, yeah.
I like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but I don't think it needs to be
No, I don't think it needs to be
twisted
done
into a million
again.
different weird
Yeah.
ways.
Or again and again and again.
And again.
And again.
But, you know, I mean, for the most part, Robert Rodriguez is probably one of my favorite current American
Yeah,
directors.
he's really competent behind the camera. And I love how he bounces from like a grown-up movie and then he can turn around and do something like Spy Kids. And, you know, he balances it so well.
I like the fact that Danny Trejo can go from
I know.
what he usually does and then show up in Spy Kids.
Yes. Yeah. Just,
That guy does not belong in Spy Kids.
I would not want to meet him in the dark alley ever.
With machete.
No. But yeah, so you've got that. We've got the film festival. You guys are writing. You guys are everywhere. I'm slowly starting to learn. Well, like you said, there's this whole underground horror thing going on. I'm slowly, much like the web series, we're slowly starting to learn that there is so much more going on out there than we knew about.
Well, the problem is, I think, to go political here. I mean,
Let's do it.
the problem is
Rob Ford?
the rest.
Sorry.
By the way, Rob Ford, we got booted out of office. We're so happy. Make sure you vote in the by-election. That's all I'm saying.
We don't even know
Sorry.
there's going to be one.
When there is, vote. But yes, politics.
Yes,
and
I
film.
shed a few tears for Rob Ford. Sorry. No, but basically, you know, as a Canadian filmmaker, and Mike Donis, who you were talking about earlier, did Swashbuckling Adventures.
Yeah.
I think this summer when he screened something here in Toronto was the first time in 8 years he'd actually played anything in Canada. He, like myself, we get all our stuff played in the United States. And, you know, I've
get
won
that.
multiple awards at different
Yes, you
festivals
have.
in the States. And, you know, I go down there and they embrace the independent filmmaker and they support each other. You know, up here it tends to be a lot of, well, on the surface it looks like a lot of everybody's reaching for that same, you know, fruit on the tree.
Right.
And everybody's fighting for it. Well, in the States, there's enough to go around, and there's enough of an industry there
Right.
that everybody's there to support each other and help each other, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the independent genre scene here in Toronto has really, like, kind of bonded together. Has been
Cool.
like, you know, the people that you watch in horror films, they're going to die soon. You're going to have to start, you know, getting ready for the next wave,
next
for
bunch
the
of
next
people.
generation of filmmakers here. They're not going to be making movies when they're 90, so you might as well start paying attention to us. And again, we don't get a lot of support or help in that way, other than luckily Fangoria and a lot of independent things like even this. You know, is actually like, yeah, hey, let's give you a plug. Let's
Hell
talk
yeah.
about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Let's get it out there. And the thing, I like social media. Like, I know a lot of people, especially artists, always rag on Twitter and Facebook and stuff. And it's like, you know what? If we didn't have Twitter and Facebook, we wouldn't be able to reach the number of people we
Exactly.
reach. I wouldn't
Oh, yeah.
have press releases and write-ups and interviews done with people in Switzerland, you know, if it wasn't
Nice.
for social media.
Yeah.
And so social media is the independent filmmaker's best friend.
Yeah.
It helps us get our
Nice.
films out there. It helps us stay connected. Like, I mean, so many great filmmakers from Texas. Like, there's a lot of great filmmakers in Texas, and I'm able to stay connected with all of them through Facebook,
Yeah.
through Twitter, through things like that. And so, you know, they can keep up to date on what I'm doing here, and vice versa. And it's also the same thing where they support what I do and they help promote what I do, and I do the same thing with them.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
right now I'm trying to bring one of their films up here
Ooh.
for Kelly to screen.
Excellent.
You know, in January or something. I think. It's
Very
just saying.
cool.
But yeah, I mean, so that's the whole thing with Canada itself. I honestly think there is an audience that loves what we're doing,
Hell yeah.
but
It's finding them.
Yeah.
It's getting everybody to come.
it's not even
To show up.
it's the middleman, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like we have the artists here, we have actors here, very talented actors here, we have filmmakers here, we have the artists here, and we have the audience here. But there's no one to connect them. We need like that
Right.
matchmaker.com thing to connect
Yeah.
the audience and the artists
Yeah.
together. And for the most part, the media wants nothing to do with that. It's like, well,
I
you know,
get that.
if it's got some Hollywood star in it, then sure, we'll take a look at it.
No.
But otherwise, just something local, who cares? And, well, exactly, the general public care.
Yeah, totally.
But, you know,
As long as it's good, what does it matter who did it, right?
when it comes
I'll watch
down
it.
to the bottom dollar, right? When it comes down to the politics of sales and marketing and media and advertising, they just say, hey, you know what? This will put more bums in seats than that. So, you know what? Who cares that this is local?
Yeah.
Screw that. But at the same time, you know, let's say some other festival goes and gets like, you know, some film from Southeast Asia and goes, hey, yeah, we're showing it in our festival. You know, they get 25, 30 people out when it's like, you know what? If every single person who worked on Sick brings one friend,
Yeah,
we're going to
exactly.
sell out
You're
your
fully
theater.
honest, yeah.
So,
Which
you
is
know,
awesome.
But again, it's that whole thing of, well, you know, this movie has this star in it, so we'll go with that. And,
Yeah.
you know, it makes it difficult that way. And so that's the problem that I think really needs to be corrected for Canadian cinema to be more accepted.
Mm-hmm.
We need to connect the audience that is there with the filmmakers that are here. Because if not, then you're going to have everybody pulling a Jim Carrey, where, you know, he struggled for 8 years here.
Yeah.
You know, nobody gave him the time of day. Goes down to the States,
Makes
and,
it
you know,
big, yeah.
6 months, he's huge.
Yeah.
And now, you know, people in Canada are like, well, hey, why don't you come back to Canada and
It's like, why
do
should
something?
I?
It's
Yeah.
like,
And do what?
you guys didn't want me then. Why
Yeah,
do you
why
suddenly
did-
want me now?
exactly.
These people like me now. You know, they like me then too, so I'll stay here. So that's the whole thing, right? Like, a lot of filmmakers go there. I don't think you need to go to the United States
No.
to have a successful film career. You can travel and you can do this and that, but great stuff is made here.
Oh, yeah.
And we just need to, you know, kind of like shake people a little bit and tell them, like, you know, wake up, smell the coffee, and, you know, come out to Blood in the Snow, see all these different great films that are here. You want stars. Henry Rollins is a huge star. Debbie Rochon is big scream queen. Danielle Harris is like every teenage boy's wet dream right now. You know, and because she's in like every other horror film. You know, and
She's super cute.
she is. And then at the same time, we have Sandra DaCosta, we have Robert Nolan, we have Christina Aceto, and we have Jennifer Polanski, and we have all these really talented local actors. You know what? You could actually run into them in a Starbucks or a Tim
Yes, you
Hortons.
can.
So you know
Exactly.
what? Why not support them? They're just as good. They're just as
Hell
talented.
yeah, they are. Yes,
And
you
if
are.
you tell them how much you like their movie, they appreciate it.
They do, yes.
They're not bugged by it at all.
That's right. That's why, yeah, we love the Canadian talent. And they're so accessible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
I mean, because we're Canadian. People love to chat because we're Canadian. We haven't had a problem getting anybody into the studio
No.
just because
That's
they're
the
like,
problem. You just gotta be careful putting a microphone in front of a Canadian because it's like, oh my
Let's
God, the
talk.
chance to talk, you know?
Just climb on them.
hell yes. Oh man, that's awesome. So that's Blood in the Snow. I just love the name of that festival. I'm gonna get a shirt with that on it, just so everybody knows. But yes, that well, not now.
No, we're bumping
Oh,
hands, arms,
oh yeah.
chairs.
That is brilliant. I think that's a really good spot to put because we talked about politics, which I love to do now. Just so everybody knows, I'm watching The West Wing at home for the first time. I'm loving it. Just saying.
But he won't watch Sons of Anarchy.
I can't get into that. It was the same thing with The Sopranos. I've got people who swear by The Sopranos, and I watched like 5 episodes of it. I can't do it. He's a bad guy. He deserves what he gets. I don't need to see him being a family man. I don't care. Shoot him in the back of the head.
What if there are no bad guys? There's no good guys. There's no bad guys. There's just people. People do good. People do bad.
I get that. I really do. It's my own like little moral code. I'm like, yeah.
And some
but
ride motorcycles.
motorcycles are awesome. I have no problem with that. It's just
Chicks on motorcycles are also.
they got to be really hot. But it's just I do want to give it a shot. Like I just tried Justified for the first time with Timothy Oliphant. I was like, okay, this is good. But I don't know. I can't do it. I want to do it. I will give it a shot for you.
We'll work on
Alright.
It is on my Netflix, so I can watch it. So it is there.
Watch one episode.
Yeah, totally. And I'll Facebook you and say, this is what I think. Ron Perlman is awesome. Wasted in this. I don't know. Why can't he make another Hellboy? I'm just saying. Yeah. But yeah, Sandra, thank you for coming in
Oh, thanks.
and bring Ryan. Because this is awesome because we got to get more Canadian talent, which is what the show's all about for the most part, I think.
It's all about us.
It's all about us, actually. This is just side stuff over here.
I want to ask Sue a question, though.
Do it. Sue has never been asked a question on the show.
Really?
What?
Not
Actually,
like
I can't
this.
think
I'm building it up. I'm sorry.
Well, I know what your favorite
Make it
movie
good.
is. I don't know what your
Oh,
favorite movie
yeah,
is.
nobody's
this
ever
is
asked
the
me
long
that.
wait.
I said make it good.
I
Question for her.
I
was
think
like, what's your favorite movie?
that tells you a lot about a
That's
person.
which is why we use it.
I will always say the original Star Wars trilogy has it always has a extra spot where nothing else can touch it really because I grew up on it. But if I had to pick a favorite movie of all time, it's Silence of the Lambs.
Very good.
Jodie
Very
Foster, yeah, everything. I love everything about it. I love every
Yeah.
shot in it. I
Yeah.
love every piece of dialogue. I
good.
love
You know
every
what?
performance.
The movie did the book justice.
Yes,
It did.
It very much
Because
did.
I read the book first and then watched the movie.
Yeah, I just watched that a
Very
month
good
ago. I
one.
think.
Yeah.
I think I was tweeting you all the way through it too.
Yep.
And just because, it still stands up.
That's a
It's
classic.
still
I
awesome.
haven't watched that in
Yeah.
a while.
I
actually.
know, and I watched it I saw it 4 times in the theater, and then I bought it when it came out, and I watched it so many times that
Oh,
for a
she
while I
really
was like, man,
likes
what am I
that
doing?
movie.
I just need to stop this. And then
She just like Buffalo Bill.
That's what it is. Yeah.
we have a coworker, Kate. I'm just gonna tell you to watch this episode now because I'm gonna quote you because she is always like, "You wanna fuck me?" She does it all the time. She'll walk up behind you, "You fuck me." Like, okay.
You've got that on lockdown, by the way, that voice.
Oh, we were always doing that. We're like, "Is she a great big fat person?" Police here don't seem to have the first clue.
I love that movie. And it is. If you watch it, I was blown away because I remember it being good and I remember loving it. But then I rewatched it like a month and a half ago, and I'm going, "This is even better than you remember it." It's
Yeah.
just it still.
It's
hits
so
all the
stressful.
notes.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
for sure.
Just,
I think
and
He always looks right into your soul. She always looks just off camera at him. And then when the ringing of the doorbell at the end when she
Best
goes to his
sequence.
house and then he opens the door and you're like, oh, this is gonna go straight to hell. And it's so stressful. It's so stressful, even though you know how it's gonna go.
they're really good at creating a lot of
that's why
anxiety in
horror
that
movies
film.
are good.
Yeah.
That's why everybody loves horror movies.
Oh,
If
yeah.
somebody says they don't like horror movies, they're a liar.
It took me forever to actually get into horror movies because I remember I was must have been like 10 or 11, and my sister was just The Shining was on TV, and I couldn't watch it just because I didn't have nightmares or anything. It scared me almost physically, where I just couldn't do it. So I finally came to the movie at maybe 17 or 18, and from then on, you couldn't not get me to watch a horror movie. Now I would just be like, yeah, throw it on, let's see it. So I don't know. Some people just aren't ready for things at certain ages.
Maybe they're not ready, but when they are, it's the,
yes.
it's the idea of
Yes.
the movie is like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And if your roller coaster's got like that, who cares, right?
Yes.
But if you're going up high, it's thrilling. It's like it has you on the edge of your seat, and that's what a horror film does. It takes you for a ride. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a good horror film.
Yes. Agreed.
And that was the thing with Silence of the Lambs too, is that it was very much about, to me, it was very much about the relationship between Lecter and Clarice.
Yeah.
And the respect that they developed between one another and stuff. Like, I loved every scene they were in together. I loved the chick in the well. You bitch! You get me out of here right now! Don't you hurt my dog? I love that movie.
What are you doing when you get home tonight, Sue?
Probably watching it again.
That's awesome.
You should do an episode of this show where she just acts.
Oh, totally.
The entire movie.
She does that, and I'll do accents all day.
Just keep cutting and I'll send a different chair every time.
Tonight on Masterpiece Theater. Sue Maynard, proud to present.
And he says goodbye, Clarice, and he touches her finger as he hands her the file back.
So creepy.
Yep. She loves her Silence of the Lambs.
I love my Jodie Foster. Jodie, if you want to do the show,
That's 416-660.
yeah, I'll give you my personal cell
Yeah,
number.
exactly.
No, everybody else, plug your ears. If you're Jodie Foster, you can listen.
It could happen. Both of you, thank you for coming in. It was fun, and I could honestly talk horror movies all night because
I thought we
we'll
were.
have to do that. We'll have to, yeah, because horror movies are awesome. Sandra's got that look though. Look. Yeah, that's the one. Evil look.
See, she can play. She can play the evil.
She
character,
totally
she can play
can.
the good character. You know.
Yeah,
You can sit in every chair and be like,
You think
I
that-
personally think it's
Okay,
way
the two
more
of
fun
you,
to play the
two of
bad
you
guy.
can be Jodie
totally.
Foster and Lecter and do a scene.
You can be our victims, gentlemen.
yeah, exactly. You're the chick in the Russell lotion on its skin.
Don't make me hurt your dog.
Hey, don't you hurt my dog. Don't you make me hurt your dog.
See? Love it. But yeah,
She's in a lot of pain, mister.
it's gonna be like this now for the rest of the night. I'm gonna get home.
I'll be like on the subway and people just be like, oh my god.
and she'll be sending me messages saying, I'm saying this now. I'm like, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Love the suit.
I love the suit, Senator. Yeah, that's awesome. Ryan, Sandra, thank you for coming in. No, it's just
No,
Trying to
no.
close it
I
every
know I
time
did
and
Sue.
then come up with
Just
something else.
keep going because she's like that. Sue, thank you for coming in. That was awesome. Say something. Good evening, Clarice.
Yeah. Are the lambs still screaming?
And Lindsay, thank you for sitting there behind the camera for us. With your
You fly on back to school now, little starling.
Fly.
That's the line that Lecter says to the senator about what body part of yours.
Oh, major nipples, how high.
Oh, yeah.
Do that one
Yeah.
for me once.
It was more because he said, how will they feel when
How will they
she's on
feel?
the
Yeah,
slab or...
when she's on
I
the-
can't
yeah.
remember.
Oh, come on. You knew every
I
other
can't- I
moment of that
know.
film.
Yeah, you definitely have to rewatch it tonight.
Yeah.
That is your assignment.
Disappointed.
Everything from when they wheel him in on the dolly.
Yep.
In the orange
But you still
jumpsuit.
don't know that line.
What part of you had when you something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he goes on the whole thing
Yeah,
about
yeah.
like the ghost limb or whatever, and what part will be. Yeah, I can't remember.
That's your assignment for tonight. Yep.
I'll just do the scene skip until I get to that part.
Oh, please. You know, the whole
She'll watch the video.
Yeah, that's true.
That's awesome. So that I guess will be the mind reels for the
Yeah, it
night
sure does, real.
on Smithy TV.
Thanks, guys.
In today's world, people are busy and impatient. We are on information overload. Every minute counts. People want to know what you can do for them. They won't spend time reading or searching, but they will watch a video. If it clearly explains who you are and what you do and tells them what they want to hear, they will reach out to you. You have seconds to get people's attention. You want a video that is engaging and makes the viewer feel as though it is speaking directly to their needs. Add to your sales team a short video and let it do the heavy selling for you. Or add to your social media or wherever your audience is spending their time. Videos can pay back your investment 10 times over. So now that you've heard our message, let's talk about yours. Let's bring your image to life.